Welcome to Donington Park for round 2 of the Thundersport GB Championships for 2016, the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup. We have 2 races here in this class, as ever. Such a huge number of Thundersport 500 riders that enter week in, week out, and we have a grid full of overflowed riders here. Of course, none of them go away empty-handed, they all get their races, and there are some 33, 34 riders on the grid here. Unfortunately, pretty ugly conditions here at Donington Park, as you can see. Really windy from those flags and a bit wet as well. A number of rookies to look out for in this class, and number 29 it is that gets off to the best start as they head down into turn 1. That's Robert Carver. Number 40, Rob Abel, also off to a decent start. The orange jackets denoting rookies, basically. First year of motorcycle racing, so a number of them here. And it is a rookie that has the advantage then. Robert Carver, number 29, rider from Barnsley on the CJ Accessories Honda, that has the lead ahead of another rookie, Rob Abel. Number 38 there, just going through, is Mick Marshall, not a rookie. Rider from Rawmarsh on the Rare Fast Racing Honda, but he is one of a few senior cup riders that is competing in this particular championship. There he is, number 38, just up ahead of a very bright Kevin Sweeney, number 35, on the Megan's Daddy Honda. A few other rookies just going through there. Number 142, Mark Sawyer from Nuneaton. His brother is out there as well. Well, actually, I tell you what, it says Swayer in the programme, Paul Swayer, but I can tell you it's Paul Sawyer because it's Sawyer Brothers Racing. So a bit of a typo there. Carver, number 29, his lead is no more. Up into first place. Good move from Rob Amable. There is number 46 just going through your picture. That is not Valentino Rossi. I can tell you that's Chris Satchwell, another of our senior cup riders who's up inside the top 5 or 6 here in the early stages. So Rob Amable leads from number 29, Robert Carver. Then it's number 35, Kevin Sweeney, and 38, Mick Marshall. Then there's all sorts of tussling going on here for the remaining positions. Number 67 just going through your picture there is Mark Robinson. Tricky conditions here though at Donington Park as the leaders come through. Oh dear, and Mick Marshall there in 4th place has gone off and is a victim of Craner curves. Oh goodness me, and he's down and he's hurt and he is covered in muck. Hopefully he's up and okay. Mick Marshall from Rawmarsh, it looks like he's had a dip in a marsh there. That will hurt. It's a nasty place to crash. Luckily he didn't get collected by his own bike. As we now see then Kevin Sweeney in 3rd place. Those guys won't be aware what's just gone on behind them. And Craner Curves collects another victim. It happens so often around here at Donington Park in the wet. Such a slippery place. You just go in slightly too hot or tap the brakes. Either way, you end up losing the front end. Anyway, at the front of this Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup race, it is Rob Amable that has the advantage. One of the many rookies in this class, ahead of number 29, Rob Carver. 3rd place for Kevin Sweeney. They're all quite strung out here, the rookies. There they go across the line. There is Kevin Sweeney. We've got a couple of fallers that have gone down actually in the opening few laps. We'll try and catch up with those in a moment. There's number 25. And number 86. 25 is Ben Martin. 86 is Oliver Dean. Nice to see Oliver Dean out there. Ollie is not one of the freshman riders. He's been in the class for a few seasons. So Oliver Dean is having a good go out there. In fact, here he comes around the outside and flying down into the old hairpin. So he puts a move there on Ben Martin. Here is your race leader. The rain's starting to come down again now, so pretty challenging race here for Rob Amable to try and dictate out front. He's got not a bad lead. You see there, number 92 further back, Gary Cutts. Marshall, I can tell you, is up and is walking away now and is safe, which is nice to know after that monster crash down into Craner Curves. There's Rob Carver then, Kevin Sweeney in third, closing in on him. Oh, just slipped off the foot peg there as they tipped left, and that's going to give Kevin Sweeney a chance now to pull up alongside him, and he's got the inside line as they head down the start-finish straight and into turn one. Here's your race leader then, Rob Amable, and up the inside possibly here for Kevin Sweeney. Yes, cool, gingerly making their way through Redgate Corner there, second and third place riders. Looking further back, there's some progress being made by number 333, Sam Palfreman, flying through the pack. We're on board here with Chris Cooper, number 167. Chris Cooper's out there battling with Matt Stevens, Matt Poncia, Liam Kirk and Gary Cutts. Here they go into turn one, 142. There is Mark Sawyer. Back with Chris Cooper then. Oh, and a few riders going past Chris here. Horrible conditions at Donington Park, and someone else has gone down there, have they? Someone has definitely gone barrel rolling down at Craner Curves in the same place where Mick Marshall went down. It's getting to that stage now. Oh, there he is, and it is 142. We just mentioned him, Mark Sawyer. He's the next one into the mud pit then, down into Craner Curves, and he's holding, that's that ominous holding of the left elbow that always looks like it might be a potential collarbone, so I hope he's all right there, Mark Sawyer. It's a fast place to go down, and you look at that rain, it's horizontal here at Donington Park. There's mud just on the side of the circuit there with a couple of other bikes have gone down. Kevin Sweeney there in second place. But it doesn't matter whether you're quick in these conditions or not, you just do not want to be racing out there in this. It is horrible. Further back we see there number 67 Mark Robinson, and there we just saw another rider going down, sliding away on his front. Thumbs up, he's okay. Always good to see, but another rider going down then, and I'm starting to lose count here as to who some of these riders are that are going down. Hopefully they're all safe, that's the main thing. I can confirm that it was Chris Jones, number 66, one of our freshmen. You can see the orange bib on, Osler Racing, so I can only presume that he's part of the Osler clan. Down in pit lane, he's up and he's okay. There is number 76, Ed Flower from Market Harborough, on the swapping paintwork Honda. Well, at the moment, cleverly, he's not swapping too much paintwork in these conditions. This is number 60, Liam Kirk, bright big orange vest on, up ahead of number 26, Matt Poncia. Matt from Attleborough, and you certainly know he's from Attleborough when you have a little chat with him as well. The Norfolk tones come flooding through. But it is still Rob Amable out front, ahead of that man there. We just saw Kevin Sweeney. There is Rob Carver. There is number 86, Oliver Dean, and then there is 333. We just saw him, Sam Palfreman. Now, Sam Palfreman, I should just point out, I'd like to know where he started the race from, because he's lapping about 1.5–2 seconds quicker than anyone else out on circuit at the moment. Number 333. Certainly a few people feeling the cold out there at Donington Park then. Number 76, Ed Flower. Oh, there's a rider, he's had enough already. Number 12, he's departing the scene now. That's Gary Cooper. Either a problem with his machine, which I presume it is, or he's just generally had enough of these conditions. Where is he going to get going again? Really sure what he's done there, but he's stopped and he's rejoined again. We lost another couple of riders actually on the last few laps. Harley Smith has gone missing. Not sure if we saw Oliver Dean going round that last time either, but we'll have a look. We'll wait and see what happens. Here is number 85 and number 49. 85, Roy Wilson. 49, another rookie, Steve Waring from Chester. But it is still Rob Amable that has the outright lead. There is Kev Sweeney. There is number 89. That's Carl Sant. Just up ahead of Robert Carver, who was the early race leader. Rob Carver then fights back through again. And there you can see is 333, Sam Palfreman. the rookie vest rider on the move. There he goes, making light work here of flying through the pack, and he could be heading towards a potential podium here. The leader's just gone through. There is Kevin Sweeney, there is Rob Carver, and there is 333 Sam Palfreman. There's Ed Flower, number 67. He just makes up a place as well down into turn 1. These guys just up ahead of Chris Satchwell, Tom Hudson, Roy Wilson, and Steve Waring. There is the change then, and up into a podium position for Sam Palfreman. Well, we said he was on the move, and look at him, he's got his knee down and everything down into the old hairpin in these treacherous conditions. This is still your race leader, Rob Aimable. Even he's not lapping as quick as Sam Palfreman is at the moment. I wonder if Sam Palfreman is going to be able to hunt down Kevin Sweeney, who's in 3rd place. We will find out shortly. A couple of other rookies battling it out there. There's number 106, Tom Hudson from Sheffield. Tom currently just inside the top 10. And your race leader once more, number 40, Rob Aimable from Dover. So a little bit of a trek back home. In fact, a trek pretty much everywhere other than Brands Hatch for Rob, wherever he's travelling. The last lap flag's out for him though. He's just got 1 lap left of this Donington Park National Circuit to go. Kev Sweeney, it is still in 2nd place. And we'll look further back and we will see how Sam Palfreman is getting on. I'm not sure, but I thought I just saw a bright yellow and green bike of Kev Sweeney's just going straight on there at the chicane. Can't be 100% sure, but we'll see on how he gets on here in the closing stages of this race. This is your race leader. It's not really put a foot wrong. He's been very, very smooth. So this Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup race, race 1 of 2 for these guys. And there's going to be a trophy on offer here for Rob Aimable of Dover. And then, well, it's either going to be Kev Sweeney or Sam Palfreman in 2nd place. Kev Sweeney, number 35 from Crewe. Further back there, you saw Dave Bezick. He's up inside the top 12, just up ahead there of number 47, Mark Shaw. Down the back straight there, just a couple of turns left for Rob Aimable. And, you know, he can even afford a little look around as well. This is most pleasant last lap for him. And across the line we go. Rob Aimable wins the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup race. Checkered flag goes out to him, and in the background there is the battle for 2nd place. What's going on there? Kev Sweeney leaning over to one side on his machine. I'm not sure if something's gone wrong there, but number 333 Sam Palfreman has just taken 2nd place off him on the line and robbed him of it. Kev Sweeney then finishes in 3rd place. Mark Robinson is 4th. Rob Carver, who led in the early stages, ends up 5th. And Ed Flower finishes in 6th place. Top 3 there then, Rob Aimable, Sam Palfreman and Kev Sweeney.
Well, Rob, I know you're so modest at Brands. You got a great 3rd, and you didn't even come up to collect. And this time, you've gone and won it. What a result!
I know, it's my first time at Donington, 4th time on the bike. Just bring on Snetterton and rocking them, and let's have it.
Are you thinking about the championship now already?
I don't know, I'm just thinking about coming first and bringing it home, so... Yeah.
Have you got anybody to thank, Rob?
I'd like to thank Giles, Presley, my missus, Ben Martin, all my friends, Al and Sarty for supporting me. And thanks to Crank Racing. Thank you very much.
Coming up next then, it will be time for the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup Race 2. Donington Park, race 2 for the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup runners. Fascinating race earlier on in the wet. We saw number 40, Rob Aimable, going on to win the race overall. There's number 29, Robert Carver, who was an early race leader. Look at the state of Mick Marshall. You could have at least got the hose out, Mick. After a massive crash down into Craner Curves, Mick has literally just jumped straight back into the levers and has gone out. And to be honest with you, looks like he's been in some sort of mud fight. Number 38, as they now tip into turn 1. Robert Carver it is that has the lead again, just like he did earlier on in race 1. Not quite the same numbers out in this race as there was earlier on. We've got a few people missing. To be honest, I thought Mick Marshall might be missing after that massive crash, but clearly not. There he is in 3rd place, just behind the 2 rookies. Mick Marshall, one of the Senior Cup riders. Quite an aggressive move down there into the old hairpin for one of the riders in around 5th or 6th place. But there he is then. Out front is the man that managed to get himself through the pack very well in the latter stages of race 1, 333, Sam Palfreman. He was lapping so quick in the closing stages of that race earlier on, and he's now got the race lead. Number 92 there is another rookie, Gary Cutts from Mansfield, and on the back straight we go. Robert Carver retakes the lead, number 29, ahead of 333 Sam Palfreman, with Mick Marshall up in behind. I might have to nickname Mick the mud wrestler from here on in. There he is in 3rd place, trying to look at the drive he's got as well, and he's almost run into the back there of Robert Carver. I don't know if Carver missed a gear or something, but Mick Marshall's through and alongside him, and into 2nd place he goes. So Sam Palfreman it is that leads this one just from Mick Marshall. In 4th place, a bit further back there, we saw 65, that's Jeff Dobson. Jeff, number 65 from Warrington on the JD Racing Honda. But it is 333, oh, Mick Marshall there. I tell you what, despite that being the scene of his accident earlier, he's not afraid, is he? Up the inside of Robert Carver he goes. Dave Bezic, a good start from Dave. Good to see Dave up there as well, another of our Senior Cup riders from Derby. It's very much his local circuit. Sadly, his good mate Phil Doodie's decided not to come out of retirement to race in this one. And to be honest with you, with all of this mud and rain about, I'm not surprised. Phil Doodie, who pretty much hung up his leathers, I think, last season, always kept quite a pristine motorcycle and pristine leathers. The same cannot be said for Mick Marshall in 2nd place, who is going to need a bath, but a normal bath after this one. I think that is unbelievable. Those pictures that you are seeing there of Mick never giving up, continuing to race out there. 333 it is that leads though. Sam Palfreman, local rider, Nottingham boy, is up there ahead of Mick Marshall then from Rawmarsh. Mick Marshall just losing out on 2nd place again now to Robert Carver. A few people screaming down at Redgate Corner. I don't know who they're cheering on, but the top 3 have got some company. They are being joined there by, I think, Jeff Dobson, number 65 it is. He's closed in on this group. There is Dave Bezic, number 20, just up ahead of Gary Cooper. Down into the old hairpin, there's Chris Satchwell, up ahead of 86, Oliver Dean, and then you saw the race 1 winner, Rob Aimable from Dover. There's 65, Jeff Dobson, again, closing up on this leading group. I still can't get over the muddy leathers there from Mick Marshall. That is incredible. You've had enough time, Mick, to get them washed down, at least. Number 76 is Ed Flower. And again, we see 92, Gary Cutts. These guys just outside the top 20 at the moment. There's your race leader, Sam Palfreman. Don't believe that Sam Palfreman is any relation to Dave or Adam Palfreman, because the surname seems to be spelled slightly differently, but unusual to see the name in racing again. There is Rob Aimable, just putting a move on Steve Waring. Down into turn 1, someone's still screaming away for one of their heroes in the top 5 here. Mick Marshall doing a great job here of just holding off those two. None of them can really get a proper shot at closing down Sam Palfreman out front though, although Jeff Dobson now very much a part of this leading group. There he is, up the inside then of Robert Carver. Dave Bezic is also lapping well. In fact, Dave Bezic, just on that last lap, put in the fastest lap of the race. So there he is, number 20. Good to see him up there, just up ahead of Gary Cooper, number 12. Gary from Leeds. On the Coops Racing, that's Ryan Cooper's uncle, I believe, Gary Cooper, who was racing in the Golden Era Supersport class with Ryan last year. But this is Sam Palfreman continuing to lead then, the rookie there with the orange vest. Nottingham rider. Mick Marshall is closing in and is after a race win after what was quite an enormous crash, I think it's fair to say, in race 1 in the wet. He's certainly enjoying himself out there. Number 65, Jeff Dobson in third. But I'll tell you what, there'll be an eruption on the podium if Mick Marshall stays actually on the podium here. There'll be 1 or 2 people down there who will be wondering what on earth has gone on. KP over in Parc Ferme will be in for a shock of his life when he sees the mud wrestler climbing up onto the top, well, it could be the top step of the podium, because he really is giving Sam Palfreman something to think about here as they go round the old hairpin. Look at the drive he's got there. Coming out of the old hairpin, up around Schwantz Curve, and then into McLean's. I wonder if he's going to be able to show him the front wheel. There's Jeff Dobson still in third, number 29, Rob Carver in 4th place, the Barnsley rider on the CJ Accessories Honda. Then Dave Bezic continuing to lap quickly. Dave Bezic might just run out of laps here. If he'd have started the race off with this sort of speed, he might have been challenging for the win, just like Mick Marshall is here. Mick Marshall got alongside Sam Palfreman there, but has just had to tuck in back behind him. This seems to be where Mick Marshall is so quick. Look at him, out-braking Sam Palfreman down into the chicane, and Mick Marshall leads. As they then make their way then onto the start-finish straight. Well, this is from zero to hero from Mick Marshall, having thrown it down the hill at Craners. There we see, though, Sam Palfreman edging his way back in front again. These two are going to have to be careful, because Jeff Dobson in third has closed up on that last lap. There he is. Still number 29, Robert Carver in the mix. We see 106 there, Thomas Hudson fighting it out with Matt Poncia. Those guys are just inside the points overall. And there again goes Mick Marshall up the inside, down into the old hairpin. So it seems that Mick Marshall on the brakes down into the final turn and into the old hairpin, the 2 slowest corners on this circuit, really is hot stuff. There's Rob Aimable. He's just being challenged there by number 185, Jamie Hudson from Sheffield. That orange bib destroyed there of Rob Aimable. I'm not sure when that happened. There he is trying to fight back again. Number 85 is Roy Wilson, another of the Raw Marsh racers from the Rare Fast Racing Honda team. His teammate currently fighting for the outright win. 111 is Paul Anion from Neston on the D Banks Unique School Honda. But this is your battle for the outright win in the Crank Racing Thundersport 500 Cup. Across the line we go. 3-3-3. Sam Palfreman still has it from Mick Marshall. Then Jeff Dobson. And then number 29, Rob Carver. In the background there, number 20, Dave Bezic. Again, a couple of tenths quicker than this leading group, but it's not quite enough to get him on terms with them. And so Dave Bezic's chances of getting himself on the podium just slipping away here as he tries to close them down. There is number 86, Ollie Dean from Castleford on the OC Graphics Racing Honda. Now then, can Mick get himself out front and stay out front for a couple of corners? Because every time he's managed to get his nose up there, Sam Palfreman has edged his way back into the lead again. He's once more we see race 1 winner there, Rom Aberball, currently just outside the points, believe it or not, ahead of 185 Jamie Hudson, and 85 Roy Wilson. Onto the back straight we go then. Here are the leaders. 333. Now, what's happened to number 29? Rob Carver, has he made a mistake somewhere and fallen back a bit? These are your leaders. 333 Sam Palfreman, 38 Mick Marshall, 65 Jeff Dobson. And it looks like, as the last lap flag goes out, yeah, he's just fallen into the clutches there of Dave Bezic. So Dave Bezic, he might not be able to get himself onto the podium, but he might have a sniff at 4th there. Last lap then. Still a few people cheering away and screaming down at Redgate Corner. I wonder if they're cheering the mud wrestler on in 2nd place, who's looking to get the most unlikely of wins after a massive crash. You'd have never put Mick Marshall fighting for this win after a crash like that. I thought he might be heading to the medical centre, but not so. So he's gone around the old hairpin. That's one of his favourite overtaking haunts. He's not managed it there. He might just have a go on the back straight down into the final chicane as yet. We will wait and see. Again, Rob Aberball here, just up there with Roy Wilson, number 85. Rob Wilson, one of many, many rookies out in this class. Now then, here we go, onto the back straight. It's now or never for Mick Marshall. It's between these two. Jeff Dobson is there to pick up the pieces should it go wrong. But here comes Mick Marshall, number 38. Is he going to be able to pull out of the slipstream here? Can he get it done on the brakes? Oh, he's definitely going to have a go. He had to, didn't he? But can he get it to stick? Oh, he's cut his line off a bit there and lost all momentum. And Mick Marshall here, will he get it done on the line? It's incredibly close. Oh, it's a photo finish there. And 200ths of a second, poor Mick Marshall just loses out. Sam Palfreman does him on the line. 200ths of a second in it between Sam Palfreman and Mick Marshall. Brilliant racing then from those two. Jeff Dobson takes 3rd place. Dave Bezic does get 4th in the end, and Rob Carver of that top 4 finish, and Chris Satchwell there finishing in 6th place. There's the top 3 then. Look at the state of Mick Marshall there. Sam Palfreman the winner from Mick Marshall and Jeff Dobson, and Rob Aberball picking up the Rider of the Day award.
Sam, well, certainly very mixed conditions this weekend, but you've had a proper nice weekend.
Oh, I've enjoyed it. It was brilliant. Like, it has been hard. It was good though. It was.
Yeah, but I mean, you just went for it and you sort of stayed with it all the way through, haven't you?
Yeah, I just tried to stay smooth. Just try to stay smooth, stay on the bike. That was the main thing.
And stay upright. Yeah. Have you got anybody to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad a lot because he's helped me out a lot, and also the Ron Haslam Race School. They helped me quite a lot, learning me how to go from motocross to riding this sort of style.
Yeah, Rocket Ron's a good lad, and he loves this class, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves the 500 class. Yeah, he's a good lad.
Well, of course, that's how Leon was brought up originally. So, anyway, look, very well done.
All right, thank you. Much appreciated.
See if you can still do it again at Snetterton.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's it from us here at Donington Park. Then join us again at Snetterton for more racing action.